Welcome back to Historic Tahlequah. With me is Mr. Don Ross, who was baptized in this church when he was 9 years old. Is that right, Mr. Ross?
That's correct.
That's quite a while ago, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And the baptistry, I understand, is right here under the floor.
Yes.
And was that where you were baptized?
No, I was baptized in the town branch.
Just like Evelyn.
But it was behind the old fish hatchery down in Phillipsburg.
Oh, yes. Don, it was in town branch behind the old fish hatchery. And I'll bet our people don't know, or a lot of them don't know, that the fish hatchery is where the Plaza Shopping Center is now.
That's correct.
That's correct. And we're sitting in the pulpit chairs that have been in this church forever. Do you remember them as a boy?
As a little boy, these same chairs was right here. I'd slip up here sometime and sit in them.
Oh, well, that's all right. It's okay to sit in. They're beautiful chairs. And Mr. Ross, you're a nice man, but your mother was wonderful. Mr. Ross, your mother was Mrs. Ada Van, is that not right?
Yes, thank you.
And she was a prominent member of this community and a member of this church forever.
Yes. I think she joined this church when she was 12 years old, and she was 95 when she died.
Oh my goodness, so she was 12 from 95. That's 12 from 95 is 83 years old. 83 years that she was a member of this church.
Yes.
That is remarkable. And during those 83 years, well, certainly when she became a woman, she meant so much to so many people in this community. Now, let's see, did she work for Dr. Masters?
She did. For years, she worked for Dr. Masters.
And she was known for always, the women in the community loved her because when there was a sickness or somebody needed a special recipe or any advice, they could always go to Mrs. Ada Van, and whatever the need was, she could supply that need.
She would.
She was wonderful. I remember when she was an elderly lady in the nursing home, how people would come to see her, and I remember that you and your wife went every day to see about her. And some of the ladies, Mrs. Evelyn Ross told me that she was always in the church every time the door opened.
Whenever she could, she was right here.
Until she was just very old and frail. Yes. In fact, I remember her being up here, even after she had to be helped, and she might have been even in a wheelchair, but we helped her out to when the historic sign was put up
yes.
for the church. She was a wonderful person. And we were talking about the pulpit chairs. Now, the original pulpit, we have pictures of that. And do you remember that pulpit as
Yes, I do.
And it was beautifully, beautifully carved. And there is a picture on the wall that was given by Francis Salas, who was a member of this church. And I have to say that you've had some wonderful ministers and some wonderful men in the church, but the women of Antioch Baptist Church have always been the backbone of them.
They have been. Ever since I can remember, they have been.
They have been the backbone of the church. And someone, maybe it was you, was telling me about the cross that stands today in front of the pulpit. And I believe Sarah and Dudley Brown gave that cross.
Yes.
They had missionary friends who came here to speak at this church, and they gave the church this cross from Jerusalem. Is that right?
That's right. And they helped a lot, too, when the church was bombed. They came in and worked.
That's right. Townspeople were very upset about that, just like they were this recent instance of vandalism with Southside Baptist and I think the Presbyterian Church. A lot of churches in town were vandalized, and there are always people who don't have anything better to do than to do something wrong. If they would do good for others, they'd be, okay, I'm beginning to preach here, right here in this pulpit chair. And I think that you said that the picture on the wall was from Francis Salas, who was early member. Mm-hmm. And the pulpit is as old as the chairs, because I've noticed that the decorative features on the chairs is the same on the pulpit. Oh, and Betty Brown and Lee Salas were telling me that the desk in the office was originally a place for the choir music, choir robes. And when the church was redone, they needed a desk, and it had been in the basement, there wasn't a place for it. And Lee had the idea that, well, we can get somebody to make that into a desk, and we can keep the wood that was in this church.
Right.
Oh, so we're on historic ground right here.
Yes, we are.
Mr. Ross. You and your wife were away for many years in the military, weren't you?
Yes. I retired from the military, and then I moved back here after my father passed.
Okay. And now, your stepfather was Mr. Curtis
Van.
Now, I can't remember. Did he work at the post office?
No, he worked at the bank, Liberty State Bank.
At Liberty State Bank.
And Norman Club Cleaners for a long time.
For a long time. And your father, how long has he been gone? He's been gone a long time, too.
My maternal father, yeah, he passed when I was 5 years old.
Oh, that was, so Curtis was really...
Yes, that's my old man.
That was your old man. That was your real father, because
Yes.
you could hardly remember your natural father.
Right.
Well, they were both very wonderful members of the community. And Mr. Van, you know, I'm kind of a female chauvinist, Mr. Ross, so I always talk about the women. But Curtis Van, your father was a very respected member of the community.
Yes.
In fact, there were a lot of good men in this church and in this community who had an influence on the younger men in the community.
Yes.
And that's important, very important. I'm wearing a locket that my father gave me when I was in high school, and he always wanted me to be a good student and all that, but he wanted me to be a good woman. And there's nothing like a good father to set that example. Well, don't go away. We're going to be right back.